snap out of it. The light dome. This is your brother, Abdul Adud, aka Questman, coming at you live. Soul Journey of Life, Conscious Black Social Media. Pardon me, I'm a little bit congested, just a little. Just came from the hospital. Yeah, one thing about as you get older, one of the things you have to be concerned with is blood pressure. But never mind any of that. I'd like to get on with getting on. This particular live, I'd like to be able to celebrate if you would. I've let me share something with you. First of all, let me greet all those who would come in viewing, whether it be now or later. Salam alaikum, shalom, hotep, peace and blessings, and so on. Because I have nothing but love and respect for the family. But I want to share something of an experience that I had way back in the days when I had one of my first performances. One of my very first performances was at, I believe it was called then Franklin Park. And there was, it was supposed to be festive and whatnot, and we were invited to perform. But the thing is that they had put us like early on the list instead of later in the day, which is what we wanted, because we wanted to be able to be there where more people were gathered. Because we're performing. Who wants to perform for empty seats? But the people that were in charge, weren't on the same page. So by the time we got there, they wanted us earlier on the list. And then the gentleman asked us if we still wanted to perform, even though that was the only time we could perform. So we did. We said we wanted to perform because that's what we came there for. And I could just remember, looking at, initially we were looking at empty seats with like one or two people here, about two or three people there, people just gradually coming in. And so I'm like, man, this can't be, we this was supposed to be our big event, you know what I mean? Because we went around prior to this, and this was before you had social media. This is before Facebook and all that. So you had to have flyers. You had to, go around word of mouth, encouraging friends to contact friends and to contact friends. And so, but the thing about doing, it's no different than what we've got going on nowadays. When you've informed everybody, you've informed the whole block, the whole neighborhood, and just a few people here, a few people there show up. And I won't put it all on the people's fault per se, because like I said, the timing was altered a bit. But me being the person that I am, I wasn't going to settle for that. So I went around, I went up, well, up and down the sidewalk and whatnot, telling people to snap out of it, but in a friendly way, and say, hey, we're rocking over there. We're doing something over there. Like, oh yeah, really? Yeah. Some people are like, oh, okay, I'll come and check it out. So I did a little bit of that just before we got over there. Then I grabbed the mic. You understand? Started talking about. Well, in those days, I was in Columbus, Ohio, so started talking about representing Columbus and just saying, I'm just being obnoxious. Sometimes when you're obnoxious, you draw attention, and that was kind of the point, to draw their attention. Like, hey, we're here. So anyway, the point that I guess I'm making here is I've had moments in my life where I've had to keep the show going, whether I was doing it by myself or I had people that were supporting. Because at the end of the day, my heart is adamant about fulfilling what I came to do. So, with family or without family, so to speak. And here, this makes me think of something, that in a way, it's like, it would be a concern for some folks. It's not a concern for people who kind of who are on a path. But I see how some of the people who are so bought into the world, and they say, well, like, man, if I advertise this or promote this to my own folks, I'm not going to get any support. I'm going to be broke. But if you advertise it and promote it to, like, for example, white folks or other folks, you're going to get wealthy, right? At least that's the mindset that they have. They've got to do things for them to become enriched and famous, right? To be rich and famous, and that kind of makes me think of how back in the days, that was kind of the conflict that was going on, was whether you became mainstream or whether you stayed true to your roots and supported the underground, content that was going on. So we were about that. You know what I'm saying? We felt like, you had to sacrifice too much of your principles and values to be aiming at the mainstream, audience, which tended to be predominantly, the white population, right? And it's just the irony, though, when you think about how when you're trying to, do projects. I got some think here. Yeah, like I said, I came back from the hospital earlier. They were looking at me. When you're trying to do projects for your people, but your people, aren't there, to show support. And, often I make excuses. I say, like, well, maybe they're, people got work, they got life, they got things they got to do. But at the same time, I could remember back in the days when you'd see the Facebook feeds and whatnot, how many, not too much back in the days. I'm talking about, like just a handful of years ago, how adamant we were about supporting BOB, black owned businesses and just things like that. And then when you pushed it out there for them, it's like the very people who your product or services were meant for aren't there. And then you're left like, well, man, you invested in this for this reason. So you would hope that there'd be some kind of, in the business mindset, you would hope that there'd be a return. But at the end of the day, you look at what the other folks are doing in the mainstream, and you're like, well, man, And I'll tell you, one of the problems I had with the mainstream idea is you couldn't be the creative you. You couldn't be you. You had to be someone else. You had to take on a characteristic that someone else wanted you to be. Because what they would do is they would say, "Oh, you've got talent, you've got skills. We see your personality. Well, we want you to do this. We want you to rap about this or sing a song about that." And you're like, "Dang, that's not why I was doing this. That's not why I'm doing this." And it throws you off. It makes it so that your creativity um it's stunted. So I've been one of those who hold on to that rope of traditional values. You understand? Holding on to that rope of what this was all about when from the very beginning. And like one scripture puts it, or one saying puts it, even if I were to do it and have no support, I'm in it all by myself. I'm the type of person I could end up in a ballroom all by myself, and a party invited to a party. I end up there all by myself, and I'm still going to do something. If I have to dance by myself or grab a drink by myself, because I like to fulfill. I like to move in a way that I am fulfilling what I came for, why I am there to begin with. Um, let's see here. I'm kind of curious because.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Fagan.
This is, we don't need that commercial. I'm wondering though, because sometimes, like right now, it shows that I'm live, but normally when I look on here, I can see that I'm actually live. But this time, I don't see that. So I'm kind of curious about that. Why don't I see that I'm live? Here it shows that I'm live 19 minutes into this live. Let's go here. There, okay, yeah. Yep. But I did do this live. I did come at this live a bit earlier than I, usually do, because later on at about 7:30 is a new music video of one of my favorite songs that's in the latest album called "Keep It Real." You understand? Because one of the things that I will carry the banner of wherever I go is being a brother that fights to keep it real. You understand? Because I feel like I'd rather be me than someone else wherever I go, whether it fits or doesn't. I've been in scenarios where it's me and a bunch of homeboys, and I'm the only nerd in the flock. Everybody else is all thugged out. And, hey, oh, hey, I'm the only one talk. Well, they're looking at me like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm right down the street." you know. Um, but I've always been comfortable with that because it's me. It's who I am, and not who I would pretend to be or any of that. It's me being exactly just like that. Um, it's not always easy. It's not always an easy road to travel. You understand? Um, but at the end of the day, I feel I can feel at peace with myself because I got up as me. I went to work or my job or event being me, and return home being me. I'm looking for something here because I kind of wanted to play these clips that I had of the uh, the promos that I was doing for some of the videos that have already and singles that have already been released recently. I just wanted to kind of play them again. Little bit of moment here. So let me see if I can get in this. But if you don't know already, the album is released. The album, the title being "Along the Way." So if you were to look up on the website right now, you will see that the album is available for purchase. So the first promotion I did for this album, the first one. Let me set that up right here. Because I like to have fun. When I do music, I like to be, what I want to say, I like to have a sense of humor. I like to have a sense of sincerity. I like to fit the mood that I'm in at the time and kind of express that in anything I do, whether it be songs, poetry, you name it. But let's do this, right? I could do like that. I'm gonna just put them all on this next page. So these, what I'm opening up here are the little promos that I was doing for each of the songs, for each of the videos that are out now. So I just want to play them in kind of a bit of an order. And then we have the most recent one. Okay. So, and if you're in, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Show your support. So, let's see if I could do this. First, let's go to this one. So I try to open them up in a certain way because they're going to put commercials and whatnot. There we go. So let me see if I can set that up like that. You got this one. Right here. Wow. So there's three. There's three of them. Okay. So because when I do, think of it kind of like a progression to something, that's about to happen. All right. Let me go ahead and share this screen. So the first one I ended up doing was the one. Well, let's just go ahead and watch it, right? So, new single coming soon. Play.
This little light.
I remember. That wasn't the first one. Hold on. It's not in order. This one was the first one, right here. So share this tab instead. That right here. See, girl, the journey is going along my way. So just passing through. But along the way, I just had a few things to get off my chest. Observing the world around me. As I manifest knowledge for self. But can you do me this one small favor? What's that? Get out of it! Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that one right there, I wanted to have a vibe, the instrumental to kind of bring you back to the good old days, the kind of nostalgic bebop, melody line. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted us to go back to that to kind of let you understand what I'm building off of throughout my life. If you remember, the previous album was titled Just Passing Through. This latest album is titled Along the Way. And everything that whenever I title something, or even communicate something, like lyric wise, there's meaning behind every word that I choose. I don't just randomly choose anything. I like to choose things that specifically is there for a reason. Whether the listener may not know it, may know it or not, that's one thing. Or whether the observer may understand it. Some things may, they may get it over time, because I remember watching a movie several times, and like the eighth time, the seventh or eighth time, I'm like, oh man, it just hit me. It just dawned upon me. Or reading a book, and the third or fourth time you read it, it's like a whole new meaning, a whole new significance than what you experienced when you first read it. So let's go to this one. Now we go to this one right here. This Little Light. I remember, and it came with one of my earliest memories. Barely 5 years old, standing in a church choir, the first song I had ever sung. I'm no singer, but I remember. How could I forget my father, who taught me how to fix and manifest? So now, do you understand my quest, man? Just making sure the light works. Yeah, this little. So then on that one right there, it should be obvious. I wanted my main intention was I wanted to shout out my most recent ancestor, my closest ancestor, and that's my father. I wanted to shout out my father in this art. And I don't know if how many of you heard what songs you've heard from the Just Passing Through album, but I do that in much of my work. I like to acknowledge my parents, my ancestors, where I come from, and it's kind of like my way of showing respect in my songs and in my writings and things like that. I like to show respect that way. So that particular clip, you understand, I was kind of going back in the days of how just the way I was brought up, showing respect to my father. And why is that important to me? Because many of you may not know, but I come from a bit of a broken family, to where people have been scattered around. It's like when certain components of my family passed away, it really broke a lot of things up in that ordinary traditional family that you might see in a movie or something. That was broken up for most of us of my generation. You understand? And me personally, I've been, I feel like I've been spending a significant portion of my life energy trying to restore that sense of family. And it's not an easy thing, because when the thing about when you're brought up in a broken type of family structure, people grow up used to that. They get comfortable being divided. They get comfortable being divided. And so when you're talking about this unity stuff, they're like, I've been living this long, I've been doing it this way for this long. Why do I need to be bothered with what you're talking about? And yet then we still have the things that we cry and complain about throughout our lives, the struggle that we like to talk about. Here's the thing. We're always going to have a struggle. But when you take on that struggle with a proper position, a solid unified family structure, it makes that struggle doable. You understand? Because everybody's playing a part. And so when you're doing your part, someone else is playing their part. You're going to get somewhere. You're going to get the job done. Let's go to the most recent one. This is kind of if you've been following what I've been just saying here, this recent one will really make sense now when you hear how this recent promotion sounds.
By myself, nobody else. What am I to do? I'm all alone. Wish I could be with you. Snap out of it! Can you drop a rhyme that matters? Help your people climb up the ladder. Let's shed some real light on the matter. It's Questman with.
And that right there, family, is the one to introduce that I chose to introduce the album with, because I through all the things that I just mentioned to you about broken family, this, that, at the end of the day, you find that you are a soloist on this path, and we can, as they say, cry over spilled milk about, oh, it's not like this, it's not like that. But none of that's going to get you anywhere. I acknowledge how things are. I see how things are. I see how people respond, uh, as a family when it comes to, an effort to try to unify and get brothers and sisters on the same page together, as a collective. But what do you do when they don't? Because some people say, "Well, man, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say." Well, I didn't come here for that. I came here to put my 50 cents and a dollar into the mix and go my way and keep going my way. Because at the end of the day, I can at least say that I did my part. I laid my brick to that foundation. You understand? I did something. I didn't just exist in this world and fit the same scenario that's being complained about. I did something through whether it be my talents, my skills, my work ethics, whatever it be. Um, that's what I would like to, at least to be identified with. I believe in the hereafter. So, in the hereafter, that those would be some of the things that I would at least like to, see on the scales of justice. So, that's kind of what brought this. When I made all of these, what do you want to call it, clips or 30-minute clips, that was kind of like the idea I had in mind. And the thing is I didn't do them like right after each other back to back like that. They were done at different times, but it's like when I do something, and I reflect on what I've already done, then it's like a puzzle piece. That's all I want to say. It's like a puzzle piece. Um, and the same goes with like when I do poetry or lyrics. It's like I'm looking at my message. Excuse me. I'm looking at my message, but I'm looking at the type of words that I want to use. Because I'm like, man, like one of the habits that I get into sometimes, if the song, gives me a certain vibe, is I like to have my words be unique. Like every time I spit a bar, I like to not repeat the same bar again. Like if I say one bar, I don't like to say it ever again in the entire song. Because I feel like, if you look at at a structure, that puzzle piece has already been placed. You understand? It's already there. I'm not going to repeat that same puzzle piece. It's already there. And the nature of my lyrics is meant to be like kind of reflected upon in different, variations. If you played the song from the middle, it's going to affect you differently than if you played it from the beginning to the end. If you just only got the tail end of it, it's going to affect you differently. But it's done in a way that no matter where you heard it, the symbols are there. The symbols are there. So my, upbringing kind of taught me, you want to capture virtue in your sound. You understand? If you can think about like, people who, when they meditate, they have certain vowel sounds or whatnot that they use, that they say are that have healing purposes and things like that. Well, what I'd like to do, or at least achieve through my progression of lyrics, is to manifest in the person's thought algorithm, to manifest in a thought, like if you can imagine listening to something that as you're listening to it, it makes you feel like something's being built or something is being assembled or constructed, right? Rather than just being entertained alone. The entertainment is fine, but and that's where the vibe and the the beat and whatnot comes in, and just the talent of how you delivered the lyrics anyway. But I'm saying, imagine hip hop could have the same effect that you get when you're listening to meditation sounds. Imagine you could listen to hip hop in a certain way. I don't know, close your eyes, you sit there, you relax, and you're listening to this brother drop these jewels while you're sitting there meditating. And then all through it, all these different shapes and geometrical shapes and whatnot start to develop in your thoughts. That's the effect that Questman drives at. I mean, it took a lot for me to say that, but it's I like to be able to use what I have at my as a resource for more than just the the base use. The base use is this is entertainment. They said this, they said that, they boasted and bragged about this, they boasted and bragged about that, and then the song's over with. I like you to be able to sit there and like, man, what did he just say? But he said something, and it was cool the way he said it. But let me give some thought about what he just said. In fact, you know what? I want to play a video. We still got some time. We got about 40 minutes before the newest video starts to play. It's on a premiere. So if you look on the channel, you'll see that there's a new video about the premiere in about 40 something minutes. But while you're doing all that, let me play this song, and then I want to show you how you can get the album, in support of a Black-owned business. So let's see here. So the video I'm talking about that I want to build on with what I'm in connection with what I'm saying here. It's called "We Could See." We could see. And the thing that I want you to understand is that when I put these songs together, I like to give you a different experience from song to song to song. I don't want you to sit there and be like, you're listening to this and it just sounds like the last song. I want you to listen to the song and be like, and still feel the vibe, still feel it and like it, but have a different experience, a different feeling, a different emotional effect, different ideas going on in your mind as you're listening to the lyrics and vibing to the beat. Let me put this over here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and share this screen, and then we'll break it down a little bit. And one of the things I think you'll like about this latest album is I wanted to put more into it, more songs, more content, more flavor, more videos connected with the songs. In the Just Passing Through album, I wasn't quite able to do that. I didn't have some of the necessary resources I wanted to do. I wanted to make a video of All the Way Black. I wanted to make a video for that so bad, but I didn't have the right elements that I wanted, and I don't like to just do any old thing. I wanted that song was supposed to have some neighborhood representation. You understand? I wanted to have some people from the neighborhood representing, but some drama started happening somewhere that not related to me, but I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and let these brothers do whatever they're doing. I don't get all caught up in the hot sauce like that. But I wanted it to be something like that, because like I was telling the brothers that I was talking to, things like this happen. These things happen in these streets. You understand? These things happen, but we're not fools. There's scholars out here. You understand? There's scholars out here. There's doctors out here, and you don't even know them because they don't have a white shirt on. They don't have you know, some of the thing, the stereotypical imagery that you might expect. But there's scholars out here. There's doctors out here. There's professional minded individual brothers and sisters out here. You know, and I recognize. I watched a brother build up, restore an entire old building into a shop and a barber shop and an ice cream shop with just his investment. And I'm like, man, you know, I said, and this is no just ordinary brother. This is a brother who's got some foundation under him. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm, you know, for me, that stuff I respect. When I see stuff like this, I respect it. Like he did that. He did that right there. So here we go. We Could See is the name of this one. Let me put that right there. We Could See, and of course, it's one of the songs on the album, or you could purchase it as a single. Let's check it out.
I close my eyes to see, and what I see often no words to say. When I'm able to say what I see, I speak these words in such a way it paints a mental picture like sacred scripture carved in stones or baked clay. All I'm trying to do is make sense of what I observe throughout the day. How often have these words been passed down? I'm spinning around and around. I'm spinning around and around. How would you be if you were me? If you could see what I see, if you were me, but you're not me, or so it seems to easy. I can see the broken street lamplight peeking meekly down the alley. I grab my coat because the night chill surrounds round about me. Was with the speeding red and blue lights, speeding down the street like a grim reaper. When the light turns on, I can even sight the sounds. I notice the waves of the world fighting hard to twist me upside down. Some may say my observations are spacely, very necessary to consider wisely. The use of every heartbeat with me. If you were me. If you could see what I see, if you were me, but you're not me, or so it seems to easy. Till the agony of forgetting true inspiration. I feel so heedlessness, especially knowing once I put my mind to do a thing, it's only by the will of the God to speak it into being. So many shades of faces, what to make of all the way we occupy the spaces. Once I had a dream. In that dream, a most peculiar scene. I held a dish with a citrus, sprouting out large green leaves.
Oh wow. So all this time I'm talking and you guys couldn't hear anything that I'm saying. So let's get at it then, right? I could do it. I could do it. I could go through all the things that I was just saying. And that makes me think of something. What I might have to do sometimes whenever I have this happen and I have the muted button clicked, I'm gonna have a backup recording going on, so that way when I edit and all this, I could put the backup recording with a clip. But the part that you didn't get to hear me say or talk about was simply concerning this part right here. Let me back it up just a little bit. This is what I was trying to break down for you, and I didn't realize that the mute button was on. And can I do like this? Yeah, there we go. So the mute button was on, and I was breaking down to you this experience because, as I say, each of my songs, they carry with it its own unique impact in my life that inspired me to write the song, to put the song together like it is. And in this case, the song itself, the entire song itself, I was in a something of a saddened state of mind, like a overwhelming emotional state of sadness. But again, not like a disparity type sadness, not a woe is me sadness, not some kind of not that kind of sadness. It was more like a thoughtful, reflective kind of sadness where I'm looking at life, from a distance and up close at the same time somehow. And through the reflections, through the contemplations, it kind of brought about this like if I could say, a positive kind of sadness. It wasn't a negative feeling. You understand? It wasn't. I didn't feel bad. If that makes any sense, I didn't feel bad with the emotional state I was in. I felt sad, but like in a contemplative way. And it was in that state of mind that I put together the song. And now let's see here. I see what's going on. Now I was looking at my screen there. So this was based upon a dream, like I said in the song. And in that dream, which, I've had dreams that I could write pages and pages and pages and pages for. And it's weird to me because it's like, I could wake up and remember so much detail about the dream. What a person was wearing in the dream, what a person may have said, shape of buildings, structures, the way the road looked, things like that. And then sometimes I have these most simple, basic dreams. And this was kind of like one of those basic dreams. But it wasn't basic in the way it made me feel as I had the dream. It was very heavy because in that dream, as you see, I had a dish and there was a citrus on it, like an orange or a grapefruit, some type of citrus fruit on it. And what do I think to do with it? There's a bed in the room, in the room that I'm standing in. I put it under the bed. And the dream gave me the implication that time was going by, right? That time was going on. And so I came back at a later time in the dream, and I go under the bed. I take the dish out, and huge leaves. These leaves started sprouting out. It was sprouting out like it was growing out of the fruit. And then I'm like, while I'm astonished by this, for some reason, the only thing I could think to do with it at the time as I climbed the ladder that went to a loft, like a little lofty area, and there was a bunch of boxes, like cardboard boxes, up there, and I put it on top of one of those boxes and just kind of left it there, right? And I'm thinking, why did I leave that dish there like that? I mean, but then I was thinking, well, what else would I've done with it? What else would I've done with that dish? And so then, just that whole experience was like, it kind of it made me think. And this was an old dream. I had this dream many, many, many years ago. I think in my late 20s, I had this dream. In my late 20s. And it's one of those experiences that, you go through and you never, ever, ever forget it. It stays with you all your days. And so in this particular song, I felt it essential to identify with that in the song, because this song was like, it was loaded with allegories, you understand, sympathies, concerns of things, observed in the world around me. And the task at hand is a way to express those concerns and those observations, tying it all together, because for me they're all related. I don't know if you let me show you this. Let me just move it up a little bit. One of the things that how can I put it? One of the things that I wanted to emphasize through the symbolism, as you see, if you can imagine, seeing in metaphor the world like a giant chessboard. If you ever seen the movie Alice in Wonderland, I've seen all kinds of movies growing up, all kinds. And Alice in Wonderland was one of those. There's a part of the story, if you read the book, because I read books too. I don't just watch the movie. If there's a book, if you told me there's a book that the movie was based off of, or was based off the movie, I want to see the book, because oftentimes the books are more in depth than the movie. So in the book, Alice is seeing the entire world through the looking glass, the entire world like a giant chessboard, and the people that she meets were all in some kind of way expressions of her encounters on the chessboard. And let's see here. Yes, indeed. I just got a notification about the up and coming new video, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that. It's coming on in about 30 minutes. So I'll try to wrap up what I'm talking about here, and then I'll sign off from this live so we can watch that newest video together. But giant chessboard, just I mean, it's not an unusual expression of the world. It's not something that's brand new. Something people have used before to speak about life. And this is what I have. And you might not realize it, but that scene right here, this is what I was saying to you about like AI and stuff, using AI in collaboration with the art. This is an actual scene. And I'll show you what I mean here if I can get the photo up quick enough. Let me think here. Yeah, this is an actual scene of based on a trip I had to a mall. And I was so adamant about going to that mall to get the part that I needed for this particular song. I was like, I need to see if they have it. So hang on a second here. I'm gonna see if I can find that part. I don't know if I can or not in time. But what I may do is if I can't find it in time, um, I'll just I'll post the picture so you can see, how one thing became another, just through animation. And it was actually pretty cool. Let's see. I think I'm getting close to the date that I did that on. I'll look for it. But so yeah, that's the thing about songs. Is for me, I like to be able to put a song together that captures more than meets the eye. You understand? More than what your ears might hear on the surface. I think it adds to playback value because, like I said, like when you're reading a sacred book or something that's of that kind of value, every time you return back to listening to it or reading it, you gain something. You gain something unique. Yeah, I'm looking for that scene of mine. At the chessboard, and I can't find it, but it's okay. We'll deal with that some other time. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And let me close that out. If you're interested, and I heavily encourage you to purchase the album. You can purchase this, singles or whatnot, but purchase the album. I think you'll be pleased with the results of that album. But you know that it's souljourneyoflife.org, souljourneyoflife.org, and the music is at this link right here, souljourneyoflife.org, the Light Dome. You'll know you're at the right place when you see, when you see the music. But here's the latest album that I want you to see right here. This is the latest album. Along the way. All right. So when you see that cover, you'll know that you're at, and it's for a low price. And like I said, this album actually has 2 bonus songs that you're not going to be able to find at Amazon.com or any other source where the album is being sold. Only on Soul Journey of Life, where you the / the Light Dome. Soul Journey of Life, that's where you'll get your bonus songs, and so you'll get more for the same price that you would buy the album at Amazon.com. More for the same price, So I figured, I wanted to be able to represent that way. So, family, I'd like to be able to know some things. Close that up. I like to be able to know some things, and you can put them in the commentary if you don't mind, after the live is over. And one of those things would be when you listen to music that makes you think. What kind of music is that? I'd like you to give some examples of what kind of music inspires you when you listen to it. And in what way does it inspire? Does it inspire you to be constructive? Does it inspire you to be, active, like in a workout? Because we use music like this throughout our life. But the other thing I was kind of curious about is how we can further use music as a tool. You understand? for unity, as a tool for improving how we are in our communities, things like that. Let's see here. So I'm curious to your thoughts about that when it comes to music, that so-called conscious music, so-called music designed to make you reflect. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for you? That this is a way to describe music. One of the things that I'd also like us to think about is how we use music, not only to communicate to each other as adults, but also how we use music to communicate to our children. You understand? I know some of us, we kind of baby down our words, and we think that that's what we should give to the children. I'm one of those that say, well, your children are looking at you for example, and so whoever you really are, your actual way, that's what they see, not the baby down version. So even I've got a song that's dedicated to my children. That's also on the in the Soul Journey of Life, the Light Dome, for purchase, and the spirit behind that song is, here's a message for them that as they grow up and they hear this song, maybe a time they will hear it a certain way, and I will be able to communicate something to them useful to them in their time, in their day. Just an idea of who their father is and what the father their father thinks about. A way to share with them what level I'm on, and things like that, in a musical way. So that's what I have to say about that. Sometimes, sometimes complexity is good. Sometimes simplicity is good. Sometimes there's a middle course, whether it be for adults or children. Because to be honest with you, some times as adults we like some of the most simple things, that aren't too complicated. They're not too complex to deal with. You hear it; it's very simple. It's very basic. And sometimes it's the children that are more interested in a more complex content. So yeah, yes. So indeed, family, we got 20 minutes before the new music video begins. The music video called "Keep It Real," and I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that music video when you watch it. And definitely, what I would like is if those who are subscribed to souljourneyoflife.org, which is free, you could do that now, to share their thoughts on the platform souljourneyoflife.org. Share your thoughts, share what you think, and if you purchase the singles or any of the albums or the singles, to comment. To post a comment, and rating. You can also rate the songs. Comment and rate what you think about, or rate and comment what you think about the songs that you purchased, because that helps me to understand how my content's connecting with other people who are listening to them, through that type of content, commentary, through that type of commentary. So, dear family, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to do something. We're going to do something here. What I want to do is for all those who watch this music video, Keep It Real. If you're listening to what I'm saying now, I want you to talk to me, because if you talk to me after you watch the video and, comment or whatnot, so I know that, you watched the video, I'll give you a discount on your purchase of the album. You have to talk to me so I can give you the code, because I'll give you the code, the coupon code. When you make the purchase, all you have to do is put in the coupon code, and you'll get your discount that way. So you'll have to let me know. And, when you do let me know, show me or point to me where your comment was. And this is for those who made it this far to this particular live presentation, announcing the album. Like I said, I'm well equipped to be a one-man band if necessary. Like I used to say back in the days, I can get my own self high through the way I contemplate life. I don't need any. I don't need to take anything into my system that I don't want in order for me to have an experience of being high or being humbled by life. You understand? Or to adjust my mental state in any kind of way. All I have to do is reflect on life the way I do. And often I find myself in awe every time, because there's always some new angle that I didn't see before. And it's interesting because often that challenges things that if I didn't continue pursuing a path of learning, I might fall into disparity. Because sometimes you find you come into a wall and you're like, you can't find the answers. Why is it this way? What happens when this happens? Why does it have to be that way? And you can't find answers. But at the end of the day, you know that there's more to knowing than even what you are capable of understanding right now. There's always more. The picture is much, much bigger than what you're capable of observing at the present time. And for me, that's in a way a promise of hope. That's a promise of how can I put that's a merciful promise. You understand? That's a to know that not only is there more, but the fact that you could even contemplate that, let you know that there's an avenue towards that. But just with anything, like with anything in life, there's a way to get to the objective that you want to get to. There's a way. If you don't follow, you might want to get to a certain objective, but if you don't take on the instructive course that leads to that, you can't get there. You can't build a house without following the steps that it takes to build a house. You're not going to, have a meal of scrambled eggs and toast unless you know how to cook scrambled eggs and toast the bread. So everything requires its steps to reach the success that, gets you to where you want to go in life. So, dear family, with that said, we are going to sign out of this live. And that'll be that. Check back. Soul Journey of Life in about 14 minutes. And let's get on watching this Keep It Real. If you're keeping it real, right? Okay. This is your brother, Abdul Wadud, aka Questman, live Soul Journey of Life, Conscious Black Social Media. Shout out to all the solid revolutionary brothers and sisters. All those, you understand, who aren't afraid to put boots on the ground, who aren't afraid to put the pen to the scroll, who aren't afraid to open the pages and read, who aren't afraid to put the brick down and build, who aren't afraid to keep it real. Just saying, just making sure the light works, family. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Hotep, peace and blessings be with you. Have a blessed day. Stay tuned, stay up, because because Keep It Real is up next. Take care.
Soldier right now. Social media.
This is an awakening.
Snap out of it! The light dome.
Bye.